Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast. It's been a busy week. I've done lots of knitting, but not an awful lot I can show you. But I've also got quite a lot of crochet done. I am getting really into crochet at the moment, and I've still got ideas for a couple more crochet designs in my head, so we'll see how it goes over the summer, how much I manage to fit in. But I'm looking forward to sharing what I've done with you in terms of crochet this week, and also talk a little bit about what we did over the weekend, a little bit about plans for my upcoming holiday to Spain, which is coming up very, very soon. So I hope you enjoy today's podcast. If you are new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps me a lot. Commenting and liking also helps me a lot get this video seen by lots of other people. And our subscriber numbers is growing steadily every week, so I'm very, very grateful to all of those who've already subscribed. I take my jumper off because it's quite warm in here. It's quite a cool day today. We had really nice weather over the weekend. It was lovely. It was sunny and warm both days over the weekend. And it was reasonably warm yesterday, but today's been a lot colder. I would say like mid-teens, 14, 15 degrees this morning. Might be a little bit warmer now, but there's no sunshine today, so probably not. But my office is always warm, even in the winter when the rest of the house is freezing. The two rooms on this side of the house, which is my office and my husband's office, used to be our daughter's bedrooms. Always very hot, always warm, which is lovely in the winter, except for when I go downstairs at lunchtime and then it's freezing. So let's chat about what I've been up to in the last week. So let's start with something I finished a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't block it till a few days ago, so I haven't showed you the finished thing. So if you remember back to May, feels like ages ago now, but it's only a few weeks ago, when I was in Norway, I brought with me a skein of Allegria, Monol's Uruguay Allegra. Let me just see if I have a skein, I'll grab it and show you what it looks like in the skein. So that is what it looks like in the skein. So it's like a sort of creamy colour. I'm assuming it's the natural undie colour with sort of like speckles or splashes of different colours. And I decided, I brought pink beads with me on holiday. I wasn't sure whether I was going to add beads or not, but I did. So I've gone for very simple garter stitch, asymmetrical crescent. I would call it asymmetrical peaked crescent because it has like it's a cross between a triangle and a crescent shape really. But it starts up here with just a few stitches. It's knitted in the same way that my Dakota shawl and Exmoor shawl. They're the two small one skein shawls knitted this way. And I have some bigger shawls as well. Can't remember exactly now which ones they are. I'm not very good at remembering my own designs. So it starts up here with just a few stitches and then it grows. I did these cross stitches with beads. Can you see that? Yes, I think you can. Scattered throughout with lots of garter stitch in between. And then on the edging, I did another cross stitch row. And then I did this thing, which I've never done before. I added 3 beads to a stitch. And I just did a normal Russian cast off, which is a stretchy cast off. But it's got these like 3 beads. And I tried to do them so that they are above the bead on the cross stitch row. Because why not do something different? So I finished a pattern yesterday and sent it off to my tech editor. Even I don't think she's going to be able to get it back to me before I go on holiday, and even if she did, I haven't got time to look at it unless there was like only like 2 edits. If there's like the normal number of edits, I have not got time to look at it till I come back from Spain, and I'm not taking any work with me in Spain. I will have to do some emails and things, but apart from that, I'm not doing anything work related apart from knitting, crocheting, and answering the odd email. So I haven't taken photos of it either, so I need to keep it folded neatly so I can get it photographed. So my plan is, well, I'm hoping that my tech editor can look at the pattern while I'm away, and then when I come back I can get the first round of edits fixed, and then probably go back and forth a couple of times. It's a very simple pattern, so hopefully it won't take long to get those edits done and fixed. So I'm hoping I can release it like early June, because I think it's quite a nice summer shawl to knit, mainly because it's a small shawl. So it's quite, if you're going on holiday somewhere hot, it's not going to take up a ton of space in your suitcase, and it's fairly quick if you're staying at home. But if it's warm, it's quite a nice project because it's not too big, and then you'll have it ready to wear as a scarf. You can just wrap it around your neck. So the way I would normally wear these kind of scarves is around my neck like that. It's quite a nice as a scarf size. You can of course put it across your shoulders as well. I don't think this shape is that great for wearing across your shoulders, and if I was, I mean, just cover your shoulders, and it is long enough that you can kind of tie it so it stays on. But because it's asymmetrical, it's a little bit awkward, I think, and I would prefer a bigger one anyway. But if you just want to cover your shoulders or something, it's perfect. But I mainly wear these kind of scarves as or these I mainly wear these shawls as a scarf. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. I love this colour. It's a very difficult shape to fold as well. I'm going to take it downstairs with me actually and hang it on my dress form, because I don't think I'm going to get photographs done before I go to Spain. While I was in Norway, I finished that shawl, then I bought some yarn, and I decided to crochet something. I'm going to make a crochet version of a clutch bag. So it's not going to look like my other clutch bags. This has got beads on. I got one that's colour work. It's great because it stays open. If you want the knitted version, they're called the Glamour Clutch and the Colour Clutch. Let me just grab the Colour Clutch. And the pattern for them are in my online Ravelry and Payhip shops. And I'll link to the Payhip and Ravelry shops below this video. So that's what I'm planning to make. So I think last time, I guess I got to where that marker is. So I finished this. One thing I'm not very happy with is where I joined. It looks quite messy. It looks even messier on the inside. The inside doesn't matter because that's going to be covered. But I'm not 100% happy about that. I am actually going to remake this in the same yarn I made the other clutch bags in, which is YarnAddict Merino Cotton, which will come on to more of that later. I'm going to re-crochet it in that, because I want to have, if I'm going to turn this into a pattern, I want to have a sample that I can display at shows and things, and I don't display any samples that I don't sell the yarn for. So I'm going to redo it in YarnAddict. I was considering taking it with me on holiday, but I've just made this. Towards the end, I was feeling like I was done with it. I wanted to move on to something else. So I don't think I'm going to take this and make it on holiday. My goal is to make it over the summer, so that when I do Yarndale at the end of September, I will have a version of this displayed in YarnAddict. So that's the plan. But I need to also work out the beginning of the round, because I'm not happy with that. I also had a bit of a problem at the beginning where I kept increasing at the beginning of the round. One thing, I actually put the beginning of the round in the wrong place, which caused me a problem at the end, which I should have thought about, but I didn't. So I need to fix that. I also want to work out whether there's a way of doing a smoother join, because to start with I kept increasing and then I ended up with like 6 or 8 stitches more than I should have. So I need to work that out. I got to a point where I was counting nearly every round, which is a bit annoying. So I've got a few things to work out. I would have liked to finish this completely before I go on holiday, as in sew the frame on and sew the lining and sew the lining in. But I just don't think I'm going to have time to do that. If I hadn't chosen to do the next project I'm going to show you, I would have had time to do this, but I chose to focus on this next project instead. So I'm going to put this aside and sort out the rest when I get back from holiday. July's not a very busy month. I've got a couple of deadlines. At the moment, I might get more commissions, obviously, but at the moment I've got a couple of deadlines, and I only have one workshop, maybe 2. So it's not going to be a very busy month. Summer is very quiet. Both July and August is fairly quiet, and then I go to Norway at the end of August. again. Before I show you what I've been working on for the last few days, let me show you a couple of things I've not been working on, which I know sounds a bit stupid, but I want to try and get a little bit of this particular project done this week. So this is the sock, my pink sock. I finished the first one, I think. I thought it was here somewhere, but I can't see it. The mess is a lot of stuff here. I can't see it at the moment, but I think I finished the first one. This is the second one. I haven't done anything since last time. I would love to finish this before I go to Spain. I was considering taking it with me. We went out over the weekend and I actually packed this ready to take with me. I changed it into a smaller project bag that has one of these hooks on the end, and then because I was using a small crossbody bag, I thought I can just hook that to the side of my bag. Got it all ready to go, and then I forgot to take it with me, which is really annoying because I would have had a chance to get some work on it. We went to Plymouth on Sunday. Yes, Sunday. Saturday we didn't do an awful lot. Saturday we didn't do a lot. My husband was doing some gardening and stuff, and I had a few knitting things, work stuff to do. So we didn't do a lot on Saturday. And on Sunday we went to Plymouth because I had a few things I needed to get before we go on holiday. So we did that, and then we went across the River Tamar. So South Devon and Southeast Cornwall is separated by the River Tamar, and for us to go to Plymouth, and there's a bridge that you go across, which is the bridge that we normally use, the Tamar Bridge. But if you live on the Rame Peninsula, Tor Point area of Cornwall, the best way to get there is on the Tor Point ferry. So there's a ferry that goes from Plymouth across to Tor Point, which is a town in Cornwall. And we don't go on the ferry very often because it is a much longer way for us, but we were going to a National Trust property near Tor Point, so we went on the Tor Point ferry, and I recorded a little bit of a snippet so you can see what the view looks like. Ferry is very short. It's only few minutes. It doesn't take very long at all. You're allowed to leave your car, but you have to be careful because it's really not very long at all. It's actually pulled across the river on chains. I'm assuming the reason they don't actually just build a bridge there is because it is kind of in the middle of Devonport Dockyard and Devonport Naval Base. So Devonport Dockyard goes along the River Tamar. There's a Navy base there as well, and they do get a lot of Navy ships come up and down. Submarines are based there, nuclear submarines are based there, so obviously they come up and down, but they do get a lot of ships. So I guess if they built a bridge there, they would have to make sure that ships could get underneath it, and it would probably be very expensive. So they keep running the ferries. We had to wait quite a long time because it was a busy weekend. It was the end of half-term holidays here in the UK, or at least in England, I think. So it was quite a lot of people around. It was very, very busy, but we had to wait for a while. So on the way home, we stopped at Anthony House, which is a National Trust place near Tor Point in Southeast Cornwall. We have National Trust membership for another year. We had it last year and we used it a lot. And this year we've kind of been a bit, well, what do we do on the weekend? We don't have a National Trust membership. So we decided to get another National Trust membership. We quite like going to a property, and there's loads of them in Devon and Cornwall, and just having a wander around and then getting a drink and a cake in the coffee shop, and I knit for a bit, Simon might read for a bit, and then we go home. And yeah, we've become very middle-aged, or maybe I should say old, in the last couple of years, but it's quite a pleasant day out really, so we quite enjoy doing that. So we stopped there on the way home. We only got there, I think, 2 hours, less than an hour and a half, I think, before the house closed, 2 hours before the garden closed. So we got some to eat first, and then we had a wander around the garden. We decided not to go in the house because the weather was so nice, and we've been in the house loads and loads of times before. So we decided to walk around the garden. It's where they filmed Alice in Wonderland. I looked this up because I couldn't remember which version it was, and it was the Disney version, and I believe it's 2010. They filmed Alice in Wonderland there, and they've kept. I filmed a bit of video. They've kept a teacup and saucer on top of one of the hedges, so you'll see that in the video. And I think there's a couple other things in the garden as well that are left over from that film. They had this huge tree in this garden which I filmed quite a bit of. I filmed it before when we've been there out of season. It's closed in the winter months, but we have been there before when there haven't been any leaves on the trees. And I actually prefer this tree without leaves because you can see the branches better. This tree, I believe it's a black walnut tree. It's absolutely huge, and it's got these really long branches that go like sideways, like parallel with the ground, and it goes down into the ground and back out again, and it's an amazing tree. So I filmed quite a bit of that, and then just what the house looks like and stuff like that. The family who owns the house still live there. The Crew family still live there. I don't know if they live there full time or whether they're mainly based in London and that's kind of like their weekend house or something. I don't know. But the house is open, I think, 3 days midweek and on Sundays. It didn't used to be open on the weekend at all, but it was last year and it is this year. But it is a small house, and there are personal items in each room, like there are family photos. And in the library, which is the office as well, there's like a modern computer and stuff like that. So it's a bit weird to look around because it's not like walking around some properties where it's just like a museum. But if you're in Southeast Cornwall, I highly recommend Anthony House. It's a very, very attractive house, and the garden is lovely. If you go on a sunny day, garden is absolutely beautiful. So I'll show you a little clip from there now, just from the garden, because we didn't go in the house at all. Go back to knitting before we talk about crochet. So I have had a couple of deadlines this last week. So I've done a lot of knitting on that, like finishing stuff mainly. And then I had another deadline this week, which I've had to do some finishing on. So I haven't got a lot of knitting done, but I think I did a few rounds on this sock since last week, but not a lot. This is the first sock. So my plan is when we go on holidays to take this with me and finish it. I thought maybe I would try and finish it before we go, but there's the reason why I haven't done that. So I think unless I get a lot done this weekend, which I doubt, I think I will take this with me, finish this sock. This yarn I bought in Wales. I was going to say Norway, but that's not true. Bought in Wales. It's the same yarn as the pink sock, which I got in Norway, but when I went in March. But it's the same yarn, just different colour. I got a Swansea Bay yarns when we went up a couple of weeks ago, nearly 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to take that to Spain with me because I think that would be a perfect travel project and a beach project for the first few days. And then I need to take yarn for another pair of socks with me, but I haven't decided quite what that's going to be yet. I will share that in next week's podcast. the project I've been working on the most is a crochet project. So I have a video coming out, might be out next week, I think. But I'm not 100% sure. It's going to be one of my Tuesday videos, I think. I think I've scheduled it for next week, but there may be something else that will come in front of it. So it might be next week, it might be the week after. But there's a lot of crochet stuff in the shops at the moment, and I've basically done a video talking about why you should be careful about buying commercial crochet stuff. For one thing, a lot of stuff is being labeled as crochet, which isn't crochet, and also crochet is handmade. So if you're buying a crochet bag or a crochet top from a high street shop and it's very cheap, chances are that the people making it won't be paid much money. And I guess you can say that for everything we buy in high street shops, like this t-shirt. I bought that from Next. I don't know what what their working practices are. Do they pay their manufacturing staff fairly or not? I don't know. But because crochet is something that I'm more interested in, I'm kind of more aware of the fact that there's a lot of exploitation happening. But I've got a whole video on it. Anyway, I'd seen a bag in Marks and Spencer's that I really want to make, and I was going to make that one. It's a like zigzag wavy pattern, and I haven't done a lot of crochet in the last few years. I've only done very simple granny square and granny stripe stuff. So I really wanted to start something over the weekend, and to start this crochet bag, I would have had to do quite a bit of swatching and working out the stitch pattern and stuff like that. So one of the pictures I pulled out to use as demonstration or as visual for this crochet video I did was a bag that was made up of granny squares. So that's what I decided to do. I started with a circle in the middle, so the first 2 rounds of circle, then it moves into a square, and this is going to be the top. This V is going to be the opening. I'm not sure that's a little bit big or not, but I might make it so that half of that square, that green square at the top, belongs to the back. I haven't quite decided yet, but I basically chose 4 colors of Yarnaddict merino cotton. Originally I chose 3. So first I chose these 3 because I love those, and I made a square out of those 3, but it wasn't that big, and I thought I could really do with a bigger one. Oops, I'm starting to, because these have gotten all tangled up, so I thought I would just wind them up quickly, and I started winding the purple one, which I'm actually crocheting with at the moment. So I started unraveling my current square. So that is what I'm making at the moment. So I'm doing the first round of the square. I've done 2 rounds of the circle, first round of the square. So originally I did 4 rounds. No, first I did 3 rounds. I thought that's not going to be enough. So I picked up those 3 colors, and then I went and got a green one because I had some of those. So I got a green one because I wanted fairly bright colors. So I did 4 rounds, but that was still a bit small. So I decided that for each square, the center and the final round will be the same color. So you can see here is the blue, here's the green, here the pink. But apart from that, no 2 squares are exactly the same. They're all slightly different. Originally I was going to make them all with a purple as the final round, but then I thought it'd be better if I can use the same amount of all the 4 colors. So I decided I would do them all differently. So at the moment I'm working on purple square to go here, I think. No, here. So I'm basically going to make another one to go here, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't worked out exactly how many I'm going to make yet, or how big I want this bag to get. But then obviously I need to work the back of it as well. So I'm kind of working it out as I go along. I'm expecting to use 2 balls of each colour. I would really like to finish this before we go to Spain. I don't want to take loads of yarn with me to Spain, then find I don't use it all because I may not have room to bring it back. So my plan is to try and get this done before we go to Spain. This afternoon I need to do some knitting on the deadline design. I need to fix some stuff that went wrong. That's probably going to take me a couple of hours maybe. And then for the rest of the evening I'm going to crochet on this. Tomorrow all my kind of knitting time will be crocheting on this. And Friday I'm teaching. Saturday and Sunday all my knitting time, we'll be crocheting on this. That is all the knitting and crochet I've been working on this week. I think I shared this last week, but I'm just quickly going to show you again. So apologies if you've seen this. Magazine, I have designs in 2 magazines at the moment. This is the Knitter issue 202. So I'll just show you my design quickly. I have a whole video on this, so I'll link that below. There's also an interview with me in this issue. So if you haven't read that, go and have a read of that. And let me just find my design quickly. So that is my design in this issue. It's knitted in Fibre Company Luna, I think. Luma, Fibre Company Luma, which is a really nice yarn to knit with. I think it's still in the shops in the UK at the moment, but I don't think it'll be in there for much longer. Like, I think this will probably be the last week. I think the next issue might be out next week. So if you haven't picked this up, you can also get digital copies of this. And then out last Thursday is Knitting Magazine. I think I talked about this in last week's issue. They obviously couldn't decide which design put on the cover, so they put us all on the cover, which is very nice. That is my design there. That is my design. Very easy, simple, sideways knitted top. Lace at the front, back is stocking stitch in stripes. And I knitted it in Stylecrafts Naturals Bamboo and Cotton DK, which is a really lovely yarn. I'm not a huge fan of cotton yarns, but I really enjoyed working with that. It was very, very nice. That was one of the samples I knitted myself. So that is Knitting Magazine issue 252, which is in the shops in the UK at the moment. It's only been out for a week by the time this video goes live, so it will still be in the shops for a little bit of time. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you liked today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.